Good morning.
Morning. Well,
What?
the greeting contingent here.
Oh, you have cats? How was the drive?
It was an adventure.
Oh, God. When is it going to stop being an adventure? Is it necessary for it to be an adventure?
No, but just one thing after another. They were carting away the felled trees from when we lost power the other day.
Oh.
Two trees went across and they finally got around to it. Then there were two minor delays at the roundabouts. Why, they had been efficient through most of the project, but now it's just dribs and drabs. They put up the guardrail, they take down the guardrail, they planted grass in one place 3 separate times. Then I got behind two guys going up Ray Hill
Yeah.
on bicycles.
Oh,
Uh, and it's right at the point that you don't want to pull
yeah.
around them, so I
Right,
had to
right.
wait.
Uh,
And then 9 cars on Clark Hill.
what?
9, including one who um, didn't move over.
And was.
So I hit gravel with my right tires. I was beginning to think maybe, maybe I should turn around.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a fun drive this morning, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning.
Hi,
How
Jeff.
are you guys?
Good.
Okay, now
Good.
that I'm here.
Yeah, now that he's here, he had a hard
Yep,
time getting here.
that sounds like it. Well, I'll tell you, Dave, when I was there a couple of weeks ago, it reminded me of how tough those back roads can be because I drove all the way from Coventry over to your place, and I actually ended up going all back roads.
Yeah,
And I mean, I did it hundreds of times when I was living in, Colchester and then up in East Haddam, but it's been a year since I did it, so
yep.
reminded me, or 6 months anyways, but it just it can be rough when when the leaves are falling and it's wet and then I remembered how bad it was when it was icy and
Yep.
man, you guys are brave. I give you credit.
It's it's uh, it's an adventure driving out here.
Yeah, yeah. I had a few bad memories of it as well. I hit a deer one time, and I even though I was being careful, I hit a deer one time, and that's just going to haunt me forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I I bounced one once, and but Jane totaled her car
Wow.
many years ago when she hit one,
Wow.
and they just pop out. I mean, you
Yeah,
can't.
That's exactly what happened. I mean, it was just out of nowhere, just
Yep.
same as
bounded
squirrels, only
across the
bigger.
street at the wrong moment, and I wasn't even going that fast. So
Yeah.
I was actually able to stop, mostly stop and not hit it that hard, but he went under my car and something happened to his leg, and
Oh
I don't think he made it. Um, so
God.
that was a long time ago, but it's just one of those things that now I go super slow whenever I am on those back roads, and I did
Yeah.
for years after that too. Yeah.
Yeah. It makes you careful.
Oh yeah.
Mookie, I don't know that you're going to be a help, but he's awful cute.
Yeah. Very much so.
See how see how she likes the ting jaw.
Yeah, we'll see. Are you ready?
Well, I liked it.
Yeah, it was a good thing shot today.
Yep.
And I am recording,
Yep.
amazingly enough.
Mm.
Questions? Comments?
I just would like it if you could just talk a little bit again about. I've been trying since last week. I've tried a little bit when what time I had to work in the eight gates with releasing in the legs as I do it, also releasing in and out. And could you just kind of talk about the flow of that energy when we're doing the eight gates as well? Because I'm trying to incorporate that into my eight gates work. I'm not trying to do it into my form yet, but I want to. After I did experience it so much last week, I'm trying to work it in as a regular thing. So I just want to make sure I'm doing it correctly.
Well, if it's moving, it's correct.
It was moving more than it, but I've never really tried before, so I don't know if it's moving all that well, or I'm just if
Yeah,
I could do better. I'm sure I could do better, but I just want to hear your interpretation.
yeah. Um, Particularly when you're developing the movement of the energy in the legs, it's important to focus on the qua as the leader of the band,
Right. Okay.
um, because that helps. Um, because you have to release the energy down through the knees, um, and actually, in a way, this kind of gets into opening and closing, which we haven't talked about too much in this class, although I have been bombarding uh, Bill with it in his other class. Um, because that's really, I mean, lengthening is the really important in the legs, and it's an important step towards being able to open and close the joints and cavities.
Mhm.
Um, and so it's essential to be able to really open up the ability to relax and allow the energy to flow through the legs, both out and in.
Mm.
Um, and the legs, as I've said probably many times, more difficult than the arms because we stand on the legs. If we walked on our hands, it would be reversed, but we don't do that. So,
Right.
uh, um, and it's really amazing when you really discover how to let go in the legs, because all of a sudden that connection to the earth opens up, and the ability to move the energy through the legs um, begins to function. Um, so it's that learning to let go and lengthen through the legs is really an important part of that. Um, any thoughts?
No, I did some decent practices, I think. Um, it wasn't this class, it was the gods, but I've been thinking about the talk you gave about I can't remember the title, but the five recognition, focus,
Oh, awareness,
awareness,
recognition.
and
Yeah,
presence, and yeah,
yeah. Um,
and trying to apply that here.
yeah. So um, I did I did a talk a few weeks ago um, called Awareness, Recognition,
Focus.
Focus, and Presence. Talking about those those principles, and they are extremely important because without those you can't actually know that you are doing all of these internal things that we're working on.
Mm.
Um, and so it's a part of part of opening up that flow through the legs is learning to be really aware of of what you want to do and of what you are actually doing, and able to recognize how to release it, um, and the importance of staying constantly present at what you're doing, staying in the present moment all the time. Um, so those are kind of important principles to keep in mind as you're trying to do that. Um,
So, when we release and lengthen through the legs, relaxing the quad, starting with the leader of the band as the quad, are we also, I know when we do it with our arms, we are working our way back from the fingertips all the way through elbow, scapula to spine. Are we with the legs working downwards, even past the feet into the earth, like we do when
yep,
we root,
yep,
envisioning it
always.
going right into the earth?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Yes.
Right. Okay. Um,
So remembering that the etheric body and all the other energy bodies extend below the feet.
right.
That's
And
one.
I've felt that many, many times when I've been well rooted in whatever we've been doing.
Yeah,
Times I'm well rooted, other times not so much, but I know what rooting is and all. I didn't know if this was incorporated into that, into the lengthening and relaxation of it.
you can't really root unless you are uh, relaxing and lengthening.
Right, but I mean, as far as when we are our intent with the relaxation and movement of the energy goes beyond the body into the
Yeah,
earth. That's what I was making sure if I understood that correctly for this particular application.
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Because once you can get the energy to flow smoothly through the knees,
Mhm.
the real difficulty, of course, are the ankles and feet and toes, simply because um, we're so used to contracting them to support us.
Yeah.
And so if you can't open up everything, all the joints and cavities, um, it's really hard to get the energy to move through.
That was really the basis of my question that I asked you is any tips on how to be able to do that, because it is like you started out saying, it is different because it's our legs are supporting our body, our arms are not. So I'm trying to, you know, get all that in sync in what I'm doing.
So I really think the big word is well, or words or awareness and recognition. You have to be aware of what you want to do and
Right.
able to recognize that you are doing it.
Mm.
So if you want to relax and um, and open up the legs, you have to be able to be aware and recognize that it is happening.
Mm.
So that's where the concept of focus comes in also, is that you are able to stay focused and to keep, remember that we eventually have to keep the entire body in sync, which I think is part of what you were um,
Right.
asking about,
Right.
so that um, whatever is happening in the knees is also happening in the elbows, and what's happening in the
Mm.
the ankles and feet is happening in the wrist and hands, and
Right.
what's happening at the qua is happening at the shoulders.
Yeah.
So it's all happening together through the entire body, and this, of course, um, we're really I'm really beginning to talk about opening and closing, which is a step beyond lengthening.
Okay.
Um, and that and you really have to have lengthening and the other principles that we've talked about so far functioning reasonably well on a level that you don't have to constantly consciously think about them in order to begin to do opening and closing.
Okay.
I mean, that's where we're trying to get with all of this. It's beyond depending on the conscious mind.
Right. Yeah. Well, working with the legs is still very new to me, so
Yeah,
I'm certainly very much in the conscious mind there still, as
yeah.
far as
Well,
getting.
that's perfectly correct and
Hmm.
right to begin with.
Hmm.
Um, you, as long as you don't fall into the trap of simply thinking about it and not feeling what's going on.
Right.
We're such a thinking culture that we're inclined to just think about what we want to do and not necessarily feel it happening.
Right. Well, I mean, even as I said last week, I could feel something when I was working on the legs in our eight gates last week. I felt something that I had never felt before, which was a connection between my arms and the quad, the
Yeah.
energetic connection. And I hadn't felt that before because I'd never been releasing the quad before yet. I did feel it, and that was really encouraging to me.
So the qua is a very central joint in the
Mm,
body and cavity. I mean, they're both exist in the that area, but um, it's always opening and closing in every movement. Um, when we clear back to simply thinking about the swings,
hmm
we talked about how the the opening of the qua caused you to turn in the other direction, and the closing draws you in.
Right.
Um, that's kind of it's kind of basic, but it's not only it's not only causing rotation; it also causes rising and sinking, and the movement of the energy um, down and up.
hmm but as far as what I had been doing, my movement of my claw was probably rarely due to releasing as opposed to muscle movement
Ah,
in the eight gates and in the form too, for that matter.
yeah.
So
Do you remember either Master Joe's swings or the three swings from Energy Gates?
I don't remember the name of them, but I remember a number of different swings we used to do with releasing the quad and the arms and swinging in different ways. And yeah, and that was a long time ago, but I do remember them.
Yeah, um, because doing the swings is a really good way um,
Mm,
to feel that and to be able. I mean, it's different th- than when we're doing the standing eight gates because once you go into the swings, then you're going up one and down the other.
mm,
Whereas um, with the standing eight gates practice, everything is moving together. So it's a little easier and sometimes to feel.
Right.
But the to begin to feel that release in the swings um, can help you release down through the legs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so without getting too technical about the swings, you can just do them in
Yeah.
do one in a very basic way. Could I think help to release that.
Yeah. Okay.
Other questions?
No, that was helpful.
Anything for you?
Something just while you were talking popped
Yeah.
into my mind about rooting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when I can feel it, and I do, my sense of it is firmness under my feet. I mean, and I'm thinking that that eventually needs to expand into the space beyond.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Okay.
Master Joe, his statement about that was to merge into the earth.
Okay.
So, yeah, you're trying to you want that connection, that energetic connection down into the earth to go down, ideally to the extent of the etheric body. I mean, and that's one of the more difficult places to feel that. Um, but um, it it exists there just as it does out here or in back or wherever. So yeah, absolutely, that's a good point.
Hmm.
Um,
It's feeling almost like your feet have kind of sunk 2, 3, 4 inches into the ground.
mm,
Yeah.
yep, it's you can play with just standing, not trying to do anything at first, and just tense up your legs and your feet, and then really feel releasing them.
Hmm.
I mean, that's obviously not what we're trying to do in any of our practices long term, but if you're having difficulty feeling and becoming aware and recognizing what that softness and release through the legs is like, that's one way that you might be able to get some sense of it.
Hmm.
So, I'm, I'm speechless.
Gates
um,
time?
what?
8 gates time?
I think so. So, in doing the 8 gates, really be aware of endeavoring to make the qua the leader of the band and relaxing through the legs. And one of the things to do, I'm going to say, do the pulsing, but try to make the movement of the qua and the legs cause the arms to move,
Okay.
which is ultimately what we want to do with it.
Okay.
So it's very easy for us just to get into moving the arms. But if you can get the legs to move the arms,
Hmm.
then you will increase the flow of the energy in the body hugely.
Okay.
And that may help to open up uh, your awareness of what's happening in the legs.
Yeah. Okay.
Blah blah blah. Okay,
Yep.
so try it.
You might like it.
Yeah, indeed. Well, that was interesting. So what did you feel?
Interesting that my mind at first kept jumping from claw to from the back to up the legs
Uh-huh.
and then I think I decided that just let it all happen because it's all supposed to be happening
Right.
rather than segmenting my attention.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Good. Jeff?
Um, I, I I didn't really have any problems. Mostly remembering to lead with the qua and in relaxing in, but going back up and extending back out and releasing out with the qua, I was having difficulty not using some muscle in that.
Mm.
Um, Extending back out. I had some trouble just doing it by relaxing most of the time. That was the main thing I took out of it. And but a little aside, also, I noticed towards the end my legs were feeling a little bit shaky, almost, which they never do. And I think it was because I was trying not to use the muscles the whole time. And I think by the end, it was just I was not used to that, so it was kind of interesting um, that I never experienced that before. But I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, but it was at least different. Um, so I don't know. How do you release in and with the qua to draw back up? I was having difficulty doing that without muscle interference.
Well, I, I, I don't think you should think that initially you don't have to use any muscular effort
Okay.
because you have to make that transition. Um, I'm not. I don't think that I have uh, am capable of 100% not using any muscular effort or contraction or extension um, in the legs. I, it that's you really have to have developed the power of your energy to a
Mm.
very high level and the ability to direct its movement through your body in a very strong way in order to do that it without muscular effort. You
Okay.
can reduce it, but if you are trying to not use your muscles at all, um, I think that's counterproductive.
Oh, okay.
So what you are trying to use as little muscular effort as you need to,
Right.
certainly, but your focus is on getting the energy to move through the legs, down and up.
Mm. And I had success with that. Um, I know I can do a lot better, but it's different than it has been when I wasn't working with the legs. I could definitely feel it more, notice it more. And as I said, when I'm on the initial, relaxation, lengthening in, I
Yeah,
can do that mostly without muscle, but it's the back up that I wasn't. And I mean, that's a good point then, that I shouldn't be trying for no muscle. I should just be trying for less muscle and then less muscle and then less muscle.
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. Thank you.
One of the things I will say is that both of you were doing major, in a major way, better whole body movement than I have ever seen you do before.
Hmm.
And and um, yes, there were maybe some moments when all of a sudden the arms and hands would move independently or lead the movement, but that was almost non-existent today.
Hmm.
So um, that indicates to me that you are beginning to get some real focus into to moving from the qua and the legs rather than being led by the arms and hands.
And arms and hands and just the dantian also, which has always been my focus as the origin of movement, moving from the dantian, but doing it from
So
the qua for me forces me to coordinate lower and upper body at the same
yeah,
time.
that's why it's really um, that's really where we start
Hmm.
in terms of coordinating everything.
Right.
Eventually, you can do it with the qua, the dantian, or the spine, but um, you have to be able to do it well with the qua first before
Hmm.
you can do it completely with one of the other two.
Right.
And your point about the fact that as you began to focus on moving from the qua, that it began to open up the flow of the energy. It really does.
Oh yeah.
It's a it's a big step to really get a hold of that.
Hmm. And again, like last time, I could feel the connection between my hands and my wrists and the quad. I felt a solid connection as it, not the entire time, but a lot of the time, even more than last time.
So um, as I mentioned earlier, that's good,
Hmm.
but really, when you're thinking about feeling correspondences, we really think about those external correspondences. And so you want the hands to coordinate and feel with the feet.
Right, which I did not. And there was times during that flow when I was trying to think about and feel any opening and focus on the ankles and the feet in that area. And I really didn't yet. So, but I'm aware of it at least now.
Okay. Um, and the really getting the elbows and knees together is a big factor in moving the energy through the legs and feet.
Okay. Yeah.
Because if you're one of the things to remember is that in the knees that you're really trying to move the energy through the back of the knee. I mean, we talk about it coming up the inside and going down the outside. Yes, but as it goes by the knee, it's really more to the back of the knee than it is to the front of the knee. Because the back of the knee is open, the front of the knee is bone. And not that there is no energy there, but it's not where it moves powerfully through. Blah blah blah.
Okay.
Anything for you?
Yeah.
Did you feel that you were more whole body coordinated?
Yeah. Um, I did. I was. I assume you would have said something if it had been missing, but I didn't pay attention to the elbows. I assumed they were moving. Um, what I did want to make sure about was the circularity of the hands, which has been a
Yeah,
problem.
that was yeah, that was. I felt like that was kind of coming and going.
Okay.
Um, and um, one of the places was in the final position.
Ah.
Um, the hands were too high, for one thing. And we got to remember
Yeah.
where the middle dantian is and feel that. Feel the middle dantian. And your tendency is to move
Toward the center.
towards the center,
Yeah.
and it's this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it was interesting. There was another place where I think it was heart that the first time the the hands and arms took over the first movement, and then it went away. Your body got back in control. It was kind of interesting to see that.
Well, I mean, I have been working on
Yeah.
wholeness, so, but it's a lot of progress to be made, and,
But you are.
yeah.
Both of you are making. I felt real progress today. That felt good.
Good.
So,
So maybe decent practice during the week helps. Yeah.
Son of a gun. So, in the form, obviously, we want to use exactly the same principles. Just as we talk about the legs powering the movement in the 8 gates, we want that also to happen in the form. And lengthening is a good place to work on that, because if you can get the legs to lengthen, and you're leading from the qua, the arms will lengthen with them. I mean, it will occur. I was thinking, as we were talking about this, I was thinking back to when I had my big aha moment with Master Joe, somehow communicating with me about whole body movement in a course of a couple of days. And there was no, here we're talking about some specifics, but he never talked about specifics to me at that point. But it was the same principles, and I think my vague memory at this point, it being quite a few years ago, close to 30, that the emphasis on the legs was a really important part of that, because I, like everyone else, starts out driving from the arms.
That's what you see.
Yep. and all of a sudden, he, I think more from demonstrating than verbal statements, he showed moving the arms from the legs. Trying to remember, he had a particular exercise he used, and I can't remember it now. Too long ago. So anyway, questions in the form? Are there places where you're not clear about the lengthening that you would like to do?
I didn't do a lot of form this week. I focused mostly on what I was saying with the 8 gates when I had some time to practice.
Hmm.
But yeah, honestly, almost any part of the form, revisiting it and reaffirming it with our increasing understanding of lengthening would be helpful. So if Bill has anything, I'm sure it would be helpful. And if not, if you have anything you want
It's
to
it's
cover, I'm
just
sure it would be helpful.
it's the same deal, Jeff.
Yeah. Yeah,
um,
it's just, as his understanding grow, and this has been a big aha couple of weeks for me too, moving from the qua and feeling the connection, and it's a whole new realm, and I'm enjoying
Yeah.
it and excited about it, but I haven't really tried to put it into the form yet.
yeah, I think I'm in the process of moving beyond hands and arms. it's,
Hmm.
it's the showpiece
Yeah.
of this thing, but all of the other things are still in parts rather than together. The
Mm.
opening, closing, the lengthening,
Yeah.
driving from the legs. They happen sometimes, but
Hmm.
not all the time,
Yeah.
and not all the time together. Certainly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Well, it's
hard to even know, you know, other than to just keep practicing until it begins to come together. Then there might be sensible questions, but
and trying to recognize the places where you are getting it and the ones that you are not, because, um, for instance, even in grasping the sparrow's tail, um, right in the beginning. Oh, now wait a minute. If I'm gonna do that, I probably ought to go to the other camera. Oh, there it is. Um, the place that got me in that was G, because I could feel um, lengthening in and lengthening out, but having to lengthen in here was really hard for me, because it's so short, it's so quick,
Yeah,
um, but having come to here, getting the in so that you can really out is clearly a part of the movement.
hmm.
Um, and then continuing out, and then in, and in, and out. And that's all coming from here. It's all, um, that's one of the driving points. So really being, really the beginning of the form, actually, the latter part, we don't, I don't think we spend enough time on. But if you can get all of the lengthening from the beginning through wave hands, then you can do it anywhere. You may have to figure out, try to develop the awareness of where is it that how do I get in and out in that movement, which is pretty counterintuitive initially, but it has to be there. It has to be there. Or because if you don't, then you can't get can't get closing and opening, which is a step beyond lengthening. So I guess what I would suggest is maybe we should do the first part of the form up through wave hands together,
Right.
and I'll try to say in and out.
If we could do it really slowly, that would be all the better, even.
I'll do the best I can. um, so. So one of the things I would say to you is that simply standing and seeing if you can get lengthening in and lengthening out to begin to move through the whole body. So very subtle movement. I mean, I'm not sinking and rising, but I am really beginning to simply allow the body to lengthen in and lengthen out. And lengthen in and lengthen out and begin to move. So lengthening in, lengthening out, in, out, out, in, out, in, out, out, in, out, out, in, out, in, out, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, out, in and out again, and then in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Questions?
No, I don't have any questions, but doing it is another thing.
Well, yes, I would certainly agree with that. Any questions for you, Jeff?
Um, when you do the form these days, do you always lead from your quad then? Or, or do you lead from
These
your
no,
Dante?
when I'm doing the form in my own practice,
Yeah.
actually, I mean, certainly the qua is very active, but I am trying to work some on using the spine to lead the movement.
Okay.
But I was not doing that just now.
Okay. I mean, because I'm obviously till this time, I've always led with my Dantian in everything I've done. So should I let that go for the moment and just lead with the qua?
Yeah,
Okay. I feel like that's what I need to do at the moment
yeah, absolutely.
because I am feeling it take me into a new understanding, a new involvement of whole body movement and
Yeah,
connecting the arms to the legs. As you said, it almost has to happen if you lead with the qua.
yeah. And
Okay.
the thing is, this is not taking away from the fact that the lower dantian is it's the lower energy center of the body.
Hmm.
Um,
The center of gravity.
it's the center of gravity, Bill says. In a way, yes.
Hmm.
Um, it, but so that the the Dantian as center doesn't go away just because you have made the qua the leader of the band.
Right.
Okay, is that understandable?
Yes. But what I'm finding in these last couple of weeks is that having always led with the lower dantian, that the legs were sort of more a passenger and along for the ride as opposed to being the driver.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I think I need to work with the qua leading for a while and then let them be co-drivers again.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now.
Yep.
Okay.
No, that's good. So I would like to uh, observe you one at a time doing that section. Um, so you can choose who goes first.
I'll leave it up to Bill. You decide, Bill.
I'm on my feet, so.
He's on his feet, so
Okay.
he will go.
All right.
So don't rush.
Mm.
Give yourself time to stand and see if you can begin to establish the rhythm of lengthening in your body without it being a huge movement. Not as successful as the eight gates. um, I felt like Grasping Sparrow's Tail was still very much hands and arms driven. And lengthening began to show up in single whip, however. It seemed like in Grasping Sparrow's Tail that thinking about the Qua as the leader of the band got lost.
Yeah, I'm still with the in out, from G through on.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So, I guess, one, if, I don't know, can you see that's opening, and then this is coming from my body. My body is closing, and my body is opening, and that's coming out of the quad. Just to get to G.
yeah.
And then closing happens again. Oops, not with the step. The opening happens again, but again my body is opening. The qua is opening here, and then it closes. And then it closes a little more, and then it opens. So it's all happening here. It's not happening here.
No, I'm sorry. I can feel it in wave hands.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, so that I know what you're saying.
Yep. Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not doing it.
No, and it's. I'm just trying to point it out. I think, really taking the time, doing a practice sometime in which you just look at Grasping Sparrow's Tail and forget everything else.
Yeah.
And take the time to find how can I make my body, how can I make my qua open and close and open and open and close and close and open. It's all happening here. I didn't move my arms out at all. I didn't do any of this. It was all right here.
Yeah.
Because that's what my quad was doing. So, but easy. It's difficult. Believe me, I'm not just being.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help you find it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm aware. Like,
yeah.
During wave hands, I am able to monitor what's going on with my claw and say, okay, that's driving.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen in Grasping Sparrow's Tail. I'm
you
busy
haven't,
with
you haven't recognized, back to our words, you haven't recognized that connection at that point in Grasping Sparrow's Tail. You do have it in most of single whip and certainly in wave hand. So, another way to approach this is doing some of the no arms.
Yeah.
Which is because if our focus is the qua, then getting to a point where you don't use the arms at all is going to force you into doing something with the qua.
Yeah.
And if we think about the Wu Yu Xiang classic principle, if any part of the body is still, all parts are still. So if the qua doesn't move, the arms don't move. I mean, it's as far as a principle, it's real simple.
Yeah.
Applying it is very difficult. I'm not.
No.
So, do you have other questions or thoughts
No,
there?
I think maybe doing it without the arms would be helpful for me
Yeah,
right now.
I think it might. I think that might be a good way to approach it.
I mean, just on the surface, since I seem to be concentrating on my hands and arms, just dump that so
Yeah.
that I have to concentrate on something else.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. It's a good idea.
Huh?
Any thoughts or questions before you begin?
Nope, not at the
Okay.
moment.
Okay. Still good. So it was interesting. Peng and G weren't too bad. I felt those um, coming from the quad, but Lu and on the arms were leading again.
Okay.
Um, and then, like Bill, when you got into single whip, that was better. Um, I think you can keep um, certainly keep working on that.
Hmm.
Um, recognizing the the movements into shoulder and really being aware. This is for Bill too. The fact that there are really three movements. There's rotate left onto the left foot. There's rotate right and step out, and there's rotate and shift forward into the posture. So there are three parts to that, um, and um, only the first one is lengthening in. The second and third are lengthening out, which has to go on through the whole, through
Oh,
the, all the way through both postures.
okay.
Um, um, again, um, Liu and An follow and focus. Um, just felt like they were not coming for the quad at all.
Okay.
Right back to the arms.
Right. Right.
Um, and you both did high pat pretty well, I think, um, or down and under, excuse me, um, and wave hands. I would clearly it it felt like you both took a sigh of relief when you got to wave hands. uh, don't know whether that's true or not, but that's what it felt like. Um,
Well, it does feel like the most together part,
yeah,
that everything is getting to where it should be.
yeah, yeah. Um, so Jeff, as I was saying to Bill, I really think that doing some
Right.
slow no arm practice, even if all you do is grasping sparrow's tail,
Right.
um, that would um, have some real value for all of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, so, other questions?
No, not right now. Just as I said, I haven't really been working on this in the form too much yet. I will gradually do it more. I'm trying to get a better feel for it in by doing it in the eight gates first, but
Yeah,
I will begin moving it into the form as well. Now that especially having just done it now, I it was better than when I did it last week. So,
yeah,
I will continue to work into that. One quick question for you, which I was wondering when you were showing us and just when you're doing it and you're leading with your qua as we've been doing, with each posture and each movement, are you feeling a maintained connection between your elbows and your knees, your wrists and your ankles, as well as, throughout your movement?
yes.
Okay. I mean, I know that's the goal. And I know it will take some time to get there, but I just was wondering how you were sensing it in your practice.
Yeah, it's no, I pretty much have that now.
Okay.
Um, I won't say that I'm perfect by any means, but
Right.
most of the time, yeah.
Okay. That's
Good.
it. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Have a great week. Things good down
Yep.
in Florida, Jeff?
What's that?
Things good down in Florida?
Yeah, we've been very busy of late, but so far so good. Things are okay. It's getting cooler now, which is nice.
Oh, good.
Yeah, fall's finally here. So
Whatever that is
yeah,
down there. We've had
it's
a beautiful